Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back to another News I Missed, where I go over news I missed because there's always far too much happening during the week. So I bring you these videos here on the weekend to try and fill you in on everything else that took place in the cryptocurrency market. I've finally been able to draw again. It's been a couple of weeks since I've actually been able to do so. I have a lot of new pieces on Rarible. There is a link in the description below for those of you who are interested. Thank you for all the NFT support. I do appreciate it more than you actually can begin to imagine. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. It says gold exchange traded funds, or ETFs, have been on a downward spiral for the better part of this year, with all the best performing ones losing up to 6% in annual return on investment. Gold ETFs have lost over $40 billion worth of investments this year, and what seems like a loss of interest in gold to cryptocurrency as the best hedge against inflation. Reports show that the majority of gold ETF investors have been panic selling in fear of inflation and high interest rates and reinvesting the money into Bitcoin and crypto-related products that have recently launched, such as ProShares Bitcoin ETF. This has contributed to the rise of Bitcoin's price to $67,000 on Wednesday. We've had reports like this for a couple of years. I'm not sure if anyone who is relatively new to the cryptocurrency space has seen these. You might even be here because you were once into gold. Gold is passé. That's kind of the nicest way of saying it. No one's using gold. Nobody wants to use gold. We now know that Bitcoin, if things continue as they are, is probably going to be the largest currency on the planet, as I believe it is number 7 or 8 at this point. There's no real discussion to be had. I like that we don't hear as much from that gold bug, as he is called on Twitter, that much anymore, because there's no more real argument that we can actually discuss. This is also, I mean, for those of you who have missed reports like this for a very long time, it says JP Morgan says institutions are looking at Bitcoin as a better hedge against inflation than gold. We've had news like this since the beginning of 2020, maybe even the end of 2019, roughly around that time period, where there were a lot of even gold-focused companies who announced that they were selling off huge portions of ETFs or huge supplies of gold to actually put 5%, maybe 7% of that money into Bitcoin. And I assume that those allocations have only increased quite dramatically over the last couple of years. It's very weird. I'm not sure how this was ever really an argument. I think the idea was that gold has been around for so long and therefore would continue to make it. But a lot of the people who are really into gold, the entire idea is that the entire financial system is going to collapse, probably, and that people would simply start actually, in the year 2021, using pieces of gold to go buy like a candy bar, or to like buy a car, or like if you had something, you wanted some gum, you need to like take out an axe and a pick and, like, I'm not joking, like take off a fraction of that gold. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like, we're not in the 1800s anymore, so I'm not even sure how anyone could remotely, you know, if it was like the 1930s, I'd be like, okay, well, fine. But we have the internet, we have multiple cryptocurrencies, and we know that they work. Anyway, so yeah, I am the people who will move over into the cryptocurrency space last will be a lot of these people who still believe that gold is primed for some type of move. There was a chart that we had a couple of months earlier, maybe even like 2 months ago, where it showed like price movements this year, and it was like Litecoin's price and Bitcoin's price and XRP's price and Ethereum's price. And then like the price of gold was like the only thing in the red. I don't know how anyone could still consider, especially with inflation being like 6-7% right now, how anyone could even think of still holding gold. But yeah, that's the JP Morgan people aren't really using gold anymore news, except for people who still believe in gold. That's their choice. Let's move on. In news that was all over the place this week, or even for a while now, but isn't actually news, it says France incorporates cryptocurrencies in government bonds. Here's everything you should know. A lot of people keep confusing cryptocurrencies with digital coins or central bank digital currencies. Cryptocurrencies are things that are decentralized, that are free of use, that don't have a governing body surrounding it telling people what to do. A lot of times when governments try to enter the central bank digital currency space or digital coin space, they will announce something that they are getting into cryptocurrencies, but they're not. So France and many other countries right now are trying to develop in some sort of way their own central bank digital currency. These things are not going to work, not the fact that they are going to be inflationary. But I'm pretty sure that the European Central Bank and the IMF are going to have to come together and basically tell them, we will issue you the digital euro, and that's what you're actually going to use. At the moment, these countries keep pretending like they're actually doing something when they know good and well that other countries are not going to accept their coin is going to be from a hyper-centralized space. So the news that France was trying to, and even then the incorporation of cryptocurrencies, that was a heavy air quote, into government bonds, just has to do with them trying to figure out how to digitize securities or things on their bond market so that they can incorporate it into their central bank digital currency whenever that does actually become a thing. So it was news. It's not really news. This happens quite often. I think it's not Jamaica. Maybe it is Jamaica. There's some country who, I mean, they're trying to roll out their central bank digital currency right now, but people keep writing articles that they're launching their cryptocurrency. It's not. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Litecoin is a cryptocurrency. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. Facebook or Meta's new coin that they have called Navi, whatever their digital currency is, that is not a cryptocurrency. You will not have free use or free access to that coin. You will be followed and tracked as you're using that coin. The same exact thing with what all the governments are doing. The other thing that should have made more of the news, but it actually, here's the other one, targeting debt market, cool, whatever. The other thing that should have actually made the news, it says the Bank of Israel is looking to Ethereum for a central bank digital currency development. We had news a couple of years ago, and I think that a lot of people sometimes question why Ethereum's price is so high. You probably don't remember or simply don't know that Ethereum is basically a government coin as well. Not that it was created by governments, shrug, that I don't know. But for the last 4 years, a lot of governments have come out in support of Ethereum and have been building things on top of Ethereum. It's been Russia, it's been Brazil, it's Israel, you kind of name it. They're writing the information from their supply chains, any trades that happen, all of this stuff is being built and written on top of Ethereum. Governments are also making side chains and things like that are more centralized but are still attached to Ethereum. And this is what they're also using to test these things and yada yada. You kind of get the point. So Ethereum's huge. It's only going to continue to get bigger, especially as we move towards actual proof of stake. A lot of governments are already writing laws and rules, and I assume that we're going to have at least a handful of governments who are going to be making their central bank digital currency written on top of Ethereum, which will only going to increase the Ether chain's value. But they're doing this because of the Ethereum chain security, which is only going to increase as we get more nodes and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, this should have actually made the news, and it barely did. I think I saw this only website actually talking about it, while the news about France, cryptocurrencies, yada, 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 kind of made it everywhere, but who knows. Anyway, that's all the adoption is still continuing news, and let's move on. Also in the news, Jordan Belfort, a former stockbroker whose fraudulent behavior and outrageous lifestyle were glamorized by Leonardo DiCaprio and the Wolf of Wall Street, has come out as a supporter of XRP. And I don't find this surprising for a number of reasons. You might remember, or maybe do not remember at all, a couple of months ago, he was asked during an interview somewhere how he felt about Bitcoin. And he said it was absolute garbage. It had no point. There was nothing good about it. It has no so-and-so. And I think they were also asking him about other cryptocurrencies. He said he did not like them. We typically see this a lot of times in individuals who have probably moved over to another coin. You'll find a lot of people who got very early into Bitcoin. They say that they don't like Ethereum. They think XRP is so-and-so. Litecoin is, a second-rate coin. If someone got into Ethereum very early, they think Bitcoin is inflated. They think XRP is so-and-so. They think Cardano is so-and-so. If you got really early into Cardano, you kind of get the point. So he also announced he has a 6-figure sum of XRP. Sure, why not? No surprise here. He says he thinks that it could hit $10 in the article. He says a friend of his thinks that it's going to $10,000, but he'd be comfortable with just it hitting $10. Once again, I'm not surprised. This happens every single time. I assumed something was going on behind the scenes because whenever they ask a billionaire, what cryptocurrency are you into, you kind of have to say the name out loud and then they'll go, yep, that one. And then besides that, they'll kind of downplay every other coin. It's kind of a me first, them last kind of thing. In that I got into this coin first, and every other coin behind me that I don't have is kind of last in line. So not to say that he doesn't own any Bitcoin, but I'm going to assume he probably does not own a 6-figure sum of Bitcoin. So yeah. And also really weird as well. Like when this guy was trashing Bitcoin, a lot of people use that as kind of like their like their way of being like, well, I know that Bitcoin's garbage because Jordan Belfort says it. And it's like, did you watch the movie? Like, I know it was, you know, really glamorous, but did you see what he actually did? Like, not everybody has to be your hero just because they're rich. Anyway, that's the Wolf of Wall Street guy, likes XRP, thinks it could hit $10, which is going to hit $10 at some point in the future, just a matter of when. We're getting all these oracles coming back into the market. Remember in 2017 when Bitcoin was at like $6,000 and people were like, I think it could hit 10,000. And I'm like, whoa. You think Bitcoin's going to continue going up by $4,000 extra dollars? Now that's just crazy. So everyone, if he made a prediction of like 39.75 based on a chart, that would make a bit more sense. But we all know that XRP is going to $10. It's just kind of a sure, why not? Also in the news, it says an avalanche of institutions are going to descend on crypto markets over the next 12 to 18 months. This was said by Skybridge Capital CEO. Once again, the oracles are back in the market. There is probably very little right now other than US regulations taking forever, stopping institutions from actually getting into the cryptocurrency space. We've seen over the last 2 years, and I told you to all pay attention. I said, as cryptocurrency prices fall and everyone else is being told to exit the market, oh no, woe is us. These institutions threw themselves at the Bitcoin pool and bought up as much as they could. Remember when Ethereum even hit $100 as the rest of the market collapsed and the stock market wasn't doing too well and 19 was all over the place and everybody was freaking out? The institutions were still buying, and I was like, pay attention. Why do you think they're buying if everyone else is being told that the cryptocurrency market is now gone and done for? So yeah, I just logically assume that over the next year, 2 years, 15 years, institutions are going to be very heavily in the cryptocurrency space. I don't think it's about them descending onto the crypto market. I think it's that they're already here. They're still waiting for a US Bitcoin ETF, like an actual, not a futures ETF, a real ETF, which is not going to be approved anytime soon. There was just something, the head guy from the SEC, he was like, oh, I'm very worried about Bitcoin ETF. Sure, why? I mean, do whatever you can to try and keep Bitcoin's price low, but, you know, good effort. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, more money's moving into the market. I didn't see it coming. I mean, I just assumed that this was it. You know, this was as high as we were going to go, but alas, there's more money moving our way. I'm not sure if we went over this like at all. I don't remember saying this, but I read the word NBA and I was like, that sounds familiar. Coinbase has had an exciting week after forming a partnership with Facebook. Are you paying attention? To provide support and custody services for the new Navi wallet. Are you still paying attention? The popular digital currency exchange is joining hands with the NBA, which some believe will make it possible to pay for merchandise and even event tickets with crypto in the coming future. It'll be a lot more than that. I assume that, first of all, if you paid attention to the beginning of what I said, Coinbase has partnered with Facebook, which is now called Meta, as Facebook is focusing heavily on the digital metaverse, which is going to be a thing. Please look into it, as well as NFTs. That's why them joining hands with Meta for the new digital currency wallet, which they were expected to have launched in like October, is kind of fascinating with all the timing that's there as well. And I assume that the NBA partnership assumption is probably going to bleed into the NBA Top Shop. So I assume that you'll probably, assumption, be able to start buying NFTs from the NBA through Coinbase as well whenever a drop is happening. They're probably going to have a secondary market. There are probably going to be tons of NBA collectibles, statues, and a whole bunch of other things that are going to also be part of it as well. Paying for merchandise and event tickets is, that's nothing. You can do that right now. There are other websites where you can find where you can pay in crypto and get like a gift card to be able to buy these things. It's going to go a lot farther than that. I think people think very small when it comes to the cryptocurrency space, the NFT space, the metaverse space, but you're all going to be shocked, or at least a good fraction of you are. So yeah, Coinbase is now officially partnered with the NBA. I assume they're working on the NFL and I almost said the NHS. It's not the NHS. Wait, the NHL. Yes. If Coinbase, if you know what the NHS is, I tip my hat to thee. If Coinbase partners with the NHS, that would be a news story in and of itself. Anyway, that's the Coinbase NBA news. Yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, fintech firm Ripple has partnered with non-bank digital financial services provider. What kind of sentence is that? Non-bank? Why not just write Ripple has partnered with financial services provider? I can't even pronounce that. PYYPL? Pipple? It has to be Pipel. I know it's Pipel. And that makes me really annoyed because to launch a global payments network, RippleNet's first ever on-demand liquidity development in the Middle East, starting with the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, via the on-demand liquidity service. RippleNet leverages the digital asset XRP as a bridge between two currencies, allowing you to eliminate pre-funding of destination accounts, reduce operational costs, and unlock capital. Ripple has been working in the Middle East for a number of years. This isn't anything brand new at all. I think since 2018, they've been partnered with companies in Dubai. I guess now that this is the beginning of the full rollout for it. So the entire point of on-demand liquidity and the usage of XRP has to do with the fact that if they want to swap money back and forth, it doesn't have to be in the local currency. It can simply be in XRP. XRP has a transaction time of, I think, 1 second or less than a second, and therefore the transaction happens so fast that it swaps back into the local currency. But you've done it with XRP, and therefore I'm going to assume behind the scenes logic that the people in the UAE are probably heavily partnered with Ripple and probably themselves have a lot of XRP because the UAE will simply develop their own system. They're very, very rich. And then even more so right here, it says in its blog post, Ripple started by explaining why the Middle East and the North African region is important. It's money. It's money. These are some of the wealthiest people on the planet. And I don't mean like not rich, not really rich, not like wealthy, but like for generations, these people will never know poverty money. That's what's there. You've seen the news before. You know what kind of money they have. So yeah, this is actually quite significant. A lot of XRP news barely makes it into popular news anymore. I think the last 5 mega news stories, except for all the SEC stuff, has had to do with Ripple using XRP as an actual thing when transacting back and forth between multiple different countries. However, it doesn't make popular news anymore. A lot of stuff like Shiba Inu does, or Ethereum's price, or where Bitcoin is going, but they're still chugging along, so good for them. Yeah. And to finish things off, the peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading platform known as Local Bitcoins announced today the launch of its mobile app. The app is now available on Android, and iOS is still under development, according to a press release. It says founded in 2021. I'm pretty sure they're founded in 2012. Local Bitcoins has played a leading role in providing a platform for Bitcoin trading in emerging markets. It currently dominates the peer-to-peer trading space in Latin America and Russia. For example, with a wide lead over up-and-coming competitor Paxful and Binance peer-to-peer. For example, in Russia, traders swapped less than 5 Bitcoin last week on Paxful, but local Bitcoin had a 40 Bitcoin in the same time period. For those of you who don't know, local Bitcoins has been around for a very long time. It's basically, it used to be just a website where you, you would basically write, hey, I need 3 Bitcoin. And you would meet somebody in the street, in a cafe, if you have brains, or somewhere else, and you would basically hand them physical money in exchange for your Bitcoin. I know it sounds archaic, but keep in mind, years ago, it was basically only Coinbase who was kind of it was Coinbase and Mt. Gox as the real only places to be able to get Bitcoin. So that's what people basically had to do. But this has been squashed, hampered down, stopped by a lot of governments because governments don't want people, and it has nothing to do with your security. It has to do all with tax purposes. They don't want people carrying around physical cash, buying things through apps that they simply don't know about. So local Bitcoins about 2 years ago was forced, I think, to have like not only a physical location, but also like KYC, know your customer, on their app. And it lost a lot of popularity because it's not what a lot of people want. So yeah, they have an app now. I mean, I assume the days of local Bitcoins is well gone, unless they end up creating their own decentralized exchange, which I'm kind of shocked that they have not already done. But yeah, good for them. I hope it works out. I assume the world has kind of moved on from meeting. And there was one news story. There was some guy, he had like 5,000 in cash on him. And he thought that, I mean, you know, just have, what's the word? It's not even street smart, just actual logic. He had 5,000 in cash on him, and he told these people, okay, let's meet somewhere. And they wanted to meet at nighttime on some random street. And as the saying goes, he got, and his money was gone, and he never got the Bitcoin. And it's like, you just thought you could carry, what I don't understand what people. Anyway, that's the local Bitcoins news. Yeah. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. I know this market is all over the place. Understatement. It is, I mean, you wake up some days and you look at the price and you're like, what is even happening? Price is slammed down by 12%, and then before you know it, 8.5 hours later, it's back up all over again. So yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See